Biden finds himself on the defensive after G20 leaders fail to rally around Ukraine show title. Hide title. President Biden arrives in India for the annual G20 Economic Summit. President Joe Biden arrives in New Delhi, India, for the annual Group of 20 Economic Summit. Damian Henderson. Associated Press. Washington. President Joe Biden failed to unite world leaders around condemning Russia's war in Ukraine at weekend summit in India, drawing a rebuke from Kiev and putting him on the defensive as he wraps up trip abroad. Neither Russian President Vladimir Putin nor Chinese President Xi Jinping attended New Delhi meeting of leaders of world's most powerful economies. But even in their absence, Russia and China achieved a victory over United States in mobilizing international community against war. The 20-nation group refused to openly reprimand Russia for invasion. Instead, he said countries should avoid threat or use force for purpose of seizing territory and lamented human suffering and negative collateral effects war. After attending the New Delhi summit, Biden traveled to Hanoi on a visit aimed at strengthening ties with Vietnam. He will leave Vietnam Monday for Alaska, where he plans to mark 22nd anniversary of attacks on World Trade Center in Pentagon September 11, 2001. Here are some takeaways from the trip abroad. Although Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky attended the G20 summit held in Bali, Indonesia last year, he was not present at the New Delhi meeting. India, which is not a party to war, did not invite Ukraine despite request of U.S. officials, who argued that Ukrainian officials should have authority to refute Russia's narrative about war at forum. Ukraine's foreign ministry expressed disappointment with G20 statement on social media, sharing a model of the changes it would like to see that would cast Russia as aggressor. Ministry spokesman Oleg Nikolenko said in a statement about platform said, Biden defended the G20 statement. GOP's McCall calls it slap in the face. Biden's case for Ukraine didn't quite work out in Zelensky's absence. At press conference held in Vietnam after summit, Biden said that war was not an all issue for most G20 countries, but that it was an issue with Russia and China, which had high-level representatives at summit. Participating in CNN's State of the Union program, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, "It is very important for the G20 to speak as one." Blinken said this poses a complication since Russia is part of the group. "I think if you're exposed to what so many people are saying, if you're in Russia's seat, it's pretty clear where the rest of the world stands," Blinken said. Rep. Michael McCall, R. Texas, chairman of House Foreign Affairs Committee, said on same show that statement was a major departure from last year and a real slap in face to Zelensky, who has carried out counterattack. GOP presidential candidate and former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley, CA,